What if I told you Egypt didn't fall to mysterious invaders? What if the Nile just stopped working? Everyone loves the Sea People's story. Ancient civilizations collapsing around 1200 BC, invaded by unknown warriors from the sea. Dramatic, mysterious, perfect for documentaries. Here's the thing. Egypt's Bronze Age collapse wasn't about invasion. It was about water. Or actually, the lack of it. Let me show you the receipts. Receipt 1. The world's first recorded labor strike. Year 29 of Ramesses III, around 1159 BC. Workers at Deir el-Medina, the village where royal tomb builders lived, walked off the job. Just stopped working. Sat down outside the administration buildings and refused to move. Why? Their grain rations hadn't been paid for weeks. We know this because they wrote it down. The Turin Strike Papyrus documents the whole thing in hieratic script. Workers literally saying, "We are hungry," and 20 days have passed in the month and our rations have not been given. This wasn't a political protest. This was starvation. These were skilled craftsmen, the people building the pharaoh's eternal tomb, and they couldn't feed their families. Now here's where it gets wild. This wasn't incompetence or corruption. The grain literally wasn't there. Storage records from Deir el-Medina show ration cuts starting years earlier. Full quotas under Ramesses II, steadily dropping under Ramesses III, then crisis. The government couldn't pay workers because the economy was collapsing. And the economy was collapsing because the Nile floods were failing. Receipt 2. Ramesses III's own temple records. Medinet Habu, his massive mortuary temple, has walls covered in battle scenes. Libyans attacking, sea peoples invading, victory after victory carved in stone. But look closer. The Ramesses Papyrus from the same temple tells a different story. Economic crisis. Temple donations slashed. Resources redirected. Ramesses III is literally documenting that he can't afford to maintain religious institutions while fighting these wars. Here's the kicker. Invasions succeed when you're weak. Egypt wasn't weak because of the invasions. Egypt was weak, so the invasions worked. The Libyans had been trying to invade for decades. Under strong pharaohs with full treasuries and well-fed armies, they got crushed. Under Ramesses III, with an empty economy, suddenly they're winning battles and settling Egyptian territory. The Sea Peoples didn't destroy Egypt. They just showed up when Egypt was already dying. Receipt 3. The Smoking Gun. Nile flood level data. Ancient Nilometers, basically river height measuring stations, show flood levels dropping catastrophically between 1200 and 1150 BC. Not a bad year or two. Decades of low floods. Modern sediment core analysis confirms it. Paleoclimate studies published in PLOS1 in 2013 by Kanuski and others prove the eastern Mediterranean hit a severe drought period, right when Bronze Age civilizations collapsed. Low Nile floods mean no crops. No crops mean no tax revenue. No tax revenue means no army pay. No army pay means soldiers don't fight. Soldiers who don't fight lose to invaders. It's not mysterious. It's cause and effect. Okay, real talk. Which evidence convinces you most? The workers' strike records, the temple economics, or the hard climate data? Let me know, because this next part shows how they all connect. The domino effect was brutal. Ramesses II, Ramesses III's grandfather, had a functioning Nile, high floods, massive building projects, temples everywhere, full granaries, paid workers, strong borders. Ramesses III, low floods, failed hearts, empty treasuries, workers on strike, military stretched thin, borders collapsing. Split screen this in your mind. Under Ramesses II, storage facilities packed with grain. Under Ramesses III, same facilities empty. Archaeological excavations found the physical difference. The workers literally stopped building Ramesses III's tomb, his own tomb, the most important construction project of his reign. They just walked away because they were starving. That's how bad it got. So why does everyone think it was the Sea Peoples? 19th century scholars needed a dramatic explanation for why multiple civilizations fell simultaneously. Invading barbarians fit the narrative perfectly. It's what happened to Rome, right? Empires fall to invasion. Climate failure? Resource scarcity? Economic collapse from environmental disaster? That's boring. That doesn't sell books. That doesn't justify imperial military spending in the 1800s. Colonial historians wanted stories about military might determining civilization survival. They didn't want stories about rivers and rain determining everything. But the evidence is clear. Egypt didn't fall because warriors showed up. Egypt fell because the Nile failed, and then warriors showed up. Here's why this matters today, right now. Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia are in serious disputes over Nile water rights. Ethiopia built the Grand Renaissance Dam. Egypt considers it an existential threat. Sudan's caught in the middle. Sound familiar? Resource scarcity causes collapse. Then everyone blames migration, invasion, outsiders. But the real killer is the resource failure that created the crisis in the first place. We're watching the ancient pattern repeat in real time. Climate stress, water scarcity, economic strain, then conflict that gets blamed on the people moving, not the resources disappearing. The Bronze Age collapse wasn't mysterious invaders. It was climate change making civilizations vulnerable. Then invasions succeeding because those civilizations were already on their knees. The Nile failed. Egypt starved. Workers struck. Borders fell. That's what actually happened. The receipts don't lie. The Nile flood failure caused the first labor strike in history. What surprised you most about these receipts? Drop a comment below. And hey, if climate collapsed Egypt, what other ancient civilizations fell for the same reason but got blamed on invasion instead? We're covering that next. Hit subscribe for more historical receipts, because the real story is always better than the myth.